Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. Today on the channel we're going to do some basic maintenance for a Yamaha XS11. What I'm going to do is install a new battery. Not particularly tough project, but just in case anybody's out there and you've got an old vintage motorcycle and you want to swap out the battery, I'm going to show you how to test the one that's in there to make sure, yeah, maybe it does need to be changed. And I'm going to show you how to take the old one out, put a new one in. Okay, let's get to it. So your battery might be going bad if you've got dim lights, or if it's hard to start, or if it's just completely dead, like it just won't start at all. Could be the sign that the battery is just shot. But one thing I want to do is actually put a voltmeter on the battery that I've got in there now, take a look at what's going on, what it's reading, and kind of show you how you can check your battery. If you've got one of these, you can pretty much pick these up on Amazon. Not very expensive. This one's kind of a crappy one, but does the job. But it's a good idea to sort of check it and see what you're reading. Normal batteries, whether it's a car battery, even a bike battery, normally run at 12.6 to 12.9 of a reading in volts or amps. I'm not sure which it is, but I think it's volts. But it's a good tool to have in order to check. But in order to do that, we've got to take the seat off. So what you want to do is take your seat off. If you don't know how to do that, I've got a video up here that you can check out to show that shows you how to take off the seat. So let's get the seat off and take a look at the battery that's in here now. So what you want to do with the voltmeter is hook up the positive to the positive, of course, negative to the negative. And let's get these out of the way. So we've got our positive on this side. We've got our negative back here. And if you can, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's reading right now at 10.09. Like I said, 12.6 or higher is good. 10.09 is pretty low. Basically, I did try to charge this battery just in case it was running low. Put a battery charger on there. It got up to 11.2. And when I took the charger off, it dropped back down now to 10. So it's obviously not even able to hold that charge. So basically, the battery itself is pretty much shot. So let's go ahead and get this old battery out, put the new one in, and then check to make sure that we're getting a good reading. First, I want to show you what the good battery looks like. So I'm going to actually put the voltmeter on the good battery, and you can sort of see what that reading is. It's a good way to check a brand new battery as soon as you get it, or if you buy it before you're even maybe at the store. Take your voltmeter with you and check to make sure that that battery has a good reading. All right, so here is the new battery. And as you can see right now, it's reading, hopefully you can see that. Right now it's reading 12.86. So not quite 12.9, but you know, the 12.6 or higher is good. So right now it's got a very good reading on this battery, on this brand new battery. So let's go ahead and get this puppy in. In order to get the battery out, we also need to take off the left side panel. So this is if you're sitting up on the bike, it's on your left-hand side if you're facing forward. This panel needs to come off in order to access most of the battery, or some of the battery, I mean. Now, there are two screws, one on the positive side, one on the negative side, and then there is a brace right here. That brace needs to come off. Usually you can use a Phillips head screwdriver to get out the two bolts. If not, a 10 millimeter should also work. But let's go ahead and take off this bracket first. This will allow us to sled that battery out. Oh, and I lost the washer. All right, so there's the bracket out. Let's go ahead and loosen up these bolts holding on the battery cables. You want to do the negative first, then the positive. If you take off the positive, it might float around a little bit, touch some of the metal, and it can cause a problem. So make sure you do the negative first. So there we've got our negative battery cable out. And don't be alarmed if the bolts don't come up. It's actually a square nut that's in there that's dropping down. All right, so I've got the positive cable is unhooked. There's usually a drain hose that's coming down here for any excess acid. You want to make sure that you loosen that hose. And we'll see if we can't slide the battery out. And there we go. Now, the other good thing to do is if these battery cables are crusty, rusty, any buildup on here, you want to just lightly sand that off to make sure you have a good clean contact. Both of these positive and the negatives are very, very clean. There's nothing really on there. So it's obviously been replaced at some point in time. And everything looks good down here. And everything, it's a little rusty, but everything, it's a surface rust. Everything still looks good down here. So I think we're good to go ahead and slide that new battery in. All right, so we've got our new battery. Mighty Max battery. This one basically comes with the acid already added in. There's nothing that you have to do. It actually came from the manufacturer like this. There are some that you can buy where you actually have to take the top tabs off, take the acid, put it down in, punches the hole through this tin foil that's at the top, or that covers up each of the tubes of acid, and you can put it in. It pours down into all the cylinders inside the battery. But this one actually already comes completely pre-filled and ready to just drop in. These are the little nuts that come with, that basically slides down into each side of the battery, and then the bolts go down through these nuts, and they're square. They're actually a little rectangle shape, but those are designed to go in there and keep from turning as you're putting your screw down in. So I've got to make sure that I put it in the right direction. The positive side is over on this side, negative is on this side. So I want to look at the battery, make sure that the negative side and positive is going in the same direction. I'm going to take the tray, set the battery in the tray, set the two nuts inside. So basically I'm going to slide the nuts in and make sure that they're lined up so that the screws can go down through. All right, let's get this slid back in. And we're going to do the opposite of what we did taking it out. We're going to do the positive in first, then the negative. Actually, I forgot there's actually a pad that goes on top of the battery itself. So I'm going to slide this back out, put this pad on top of it. Basically keeps it from vibrating against the frame. Make sure it's nice and secure. And I'll get that rubber cap back on, but first I want to get this one hooked up. And I need to find the washer. All right, so we've got our negative cable hooked up. All right. And we just need to do the strap. Found the little washer. It rolled under the bike. But let's see, the strap has got to go down in here, catch on this little hook. And then, oh, what did I do with my bolt? There it is. One major difference, this battery has basically a spout so that if there's anything excess, anything that needs to drain out, battery acid can go down through here. This battery is self-contained and it does not need that hose. And I think I'm going to use the 10 mil to tighten it up. There we go. Our battery is nice and secure in there. The hose I'm just going to sort of tuck in behind the brace. And we've got both of our positive and negative cables hooked up. And it looks like we are good to go. All we have to do is drop our cover back on. And make sure the rubber fittings are in there. Put the seat back on, and that's it. We're good to go. So there you have it. We've got a new battery installed in the Yamaha XS1100. This is 1978. Should apply to 79. Might apply to the 80 model. I don't know. I've never had the 80, only the 78s and a 79. So hopefully you got something out of this. If you do, please leave a comment if you have any questions or if I got something wrong, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more to the old Yamaha here, getting it up and running. And thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.